Hi, it's Melissa McCreery from TooMuchOnOurPlate.com, and this is the first in my series of video tips to help you identify if emotional eating is an issue for you, and whether it's something that is causing you to get stuck, or whether it's something that's getting in the way of all the efforts that you're making to try to take control of food and eating and your weight, and so that you can get to the healthy place that you want to be and get on with your life. One of the first things to know about emotional eating is that it is a huge issue for many women, and it's something that is so powerful, and yet we tend to underestimate it. Many times when you listen to weight loss advice or weight loss experts, people will say, okay, pay attention, notice if you're doing eating that really doesn't have to do with hunger, because that's what emotional eating is. Emotional eating is eating that is when we're using food to try to take the place of something else, when we're trying to use food to cope with feelings or to change our feelings or to keep us from thinking about feelings. So stress eating, boredom eating, comfort eating, eating when you're anxious, eating to celebrate, all of those things are emotional eating. One of the big mistakes that I see really smart, capable people making all the time is getting to the place where they identify that emotional eating is going on, and then what they do, because they're used to just being strong and effective and just do it kind of women, is they kind of slap themselves on the wrist and say, okay, don't do that anymore, you need to stop. That's a huge mistake. One of the first things you need to do if you have emotional eating happening for you, and if you're feeling out of control with that, is to identify that it's happening, and I'll give you some tips later on how to do that. But the second and the most crucial thing you need to do if emotional eating is an issue for you is to take the time, get some help if you need to, and figure out what you're going to do instead. Because it's not just about, white knuckling it and holding on real tight and not doing this thing. If you're going to put together a habit for life, a lifestyle that's going to last with you into the future, you need to figure out what you're going to do to cope with those feelings, with those needs, with those desires, what you're going to use instead of the food. So that's my first tip. Come up with an instead strategy. I've got lots more tips at my website, which is TooMuchOnHerPlate.com, and you can go to my blog there, and there are lots of free tips and articles and resources and information about the Emotional Eating Toolbox 28-day program. Thanks.